Hey, everybody, man, I got a cool dude on Strong Inspirations today. Oh my God, this brother right here. And check it out, everybody, watch this. And my man got an accent. He got a little accent, right? You're going to listen closely. He got an accent because I was talking to him on the telephone and I was like, huh? And he got an accent. Then I caught it. And when I caught it, I knew what he was talking about. I said, man, come on my channel, please share that history. Tell these people about what you know so that they can know it. And also, my brothers and my sisters, I want you to, when you in his area, support his business. How about that? Because he's going to enlighten you. That's his business, is to enlighten you. That's how this goes. You with Anthony Brogdon, you on Strong Inspirations, where I give it to you straight, no chaser. I let the people do the talking. I just come up with a few questions, and that's what I'm going to do today with this brother. You watch and see. And what I want you to do, my friends, because I'm feeling you. Last night, I had another 30 new subscribers. Something is happening. Somebody's telling somebody about us. And what I'd love for you to do is hit the subscribe button. You watching the videos, I can feel it. I'm up to about 430 subscribers, which that ain't bad. Because I know I'm affecting more people than that. I can feel it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, because I know he's going to tell you something that you don't know and you're going to be impressed. I want you to hit the notifications bell. Because when I put the new video up, and I'm doing 4 or 5 videos a week, and that's every week. That's every week. Even when I got other stuff I'm doing out of town and what have you, and I'm traveling, my friends. I'm doing some things. I'll tell you about it later. I still put something up. I got that many. I put them up even when I'm not interviewing people. And then what I want you to do is tell somebody about Strong Inspirations. Don't keep it to yourself. You running around them picnics and y'all sitting at the campfire and you telling your stories and they say, well, how you know that? And you don't want to tell them. Tell them Strong Inspirations. It'll work in your favor. The other things that I want you to do, my friends, is if you know me, you know I'm a filmmaker. I'm serious about this history. And I did this documentary on the rise of Black business in America from 1800 to 1960. It's called Business in the Black. I'm telling you, slaves went to college and Black millionaires in the 1800s. I named names. I got how about this? The first, and the guy who starts the movie and ends the movie was 101 years old when I interviewed him. He lived to be 103. I got probably 7 or 8 other people that was in their 90s telling the stories. It's in my film. I want you to watch this. Come on, get on it. It ain't gonna put you to sleep. It's that good. And then what I did was I wrote the book. I want you to get a copy of my book. I believe in this book so much that if you read my book and you don't learn nothing new, I give you money back. You just send me a message, man. I knew all that, man. I give you money back. You that good? And I want to interview you because you know that much. All right. I mean, incredible stories. And it's an easy read. That's how I write. That's how I read. And that's how I like my books. And I did it just with that in mind. It covers a lot of what the movie does, but it's more facts. You need to get you a copy. And how about this? At every 10th book I sell, I donate one to a school across the country. You buy 10 books, I donate one in your honor to the school you went to, wherever. Let these kids understand and read this. It's called Black Business Book. And I ain't lying to you, my friends, it's good. Not just because I wrote it, but somebody else told me that. And they keep ordering, this person keep ordering books. They be giving them away and stuff like that. I say, man, I appreciate you. Get you a copy of my book, right? And it's on Amazon, but it's also on my website, businessintheblack.net. Same as the movie, but businessintheblack.net. Not .com, not .org, but .net. I put the net on the end. All right. And you want to get you a copy of that. I'm telling you. And how about this? Before I introduce this guy, and you get a copy, I'll autograph it. Watch, you're gonna want that. You're gonna want to put that in a case, a glass case. That's how I got mine, in a glass case, because this book is that special. Now, before he come on, I got one more thing to share with y'all, because he's sitting there, he patient. He said, man, I gotta go. I got things to tell you people. And before he do that, I want to let you know that I use the word strong a lot, right? Strong stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. That's my introduction to my brother that's on the channel today. He's a strong man. Come on, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you. Man, let's get it on. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Anthony, for having me, first of all. Glad to be here. I'm honored, in other words. But anyway, I'm Alfonso Brown from Charleston, South Carolina.
Yep.
And I have a tour company called Gullah Tours. I started my tour in 1985, when I got my license. And the reason why I, call it Gullah Tours because, number one, I speak Gullah. Gullah is the language. And it has since encompassed different things like the clothes, Gullah cooking, Gullah style, Gullah cuisine.
Hold on, man. You're rolling, and I gotta ask you a couple more questions, my brother.
Okay.
Hold on, I don't mean no harm in this.
Oh, okay.
Where you from? Where you from, man? Where you from?
I'm from Charleston, and south of Charleston, a little town called Rantos. It's about south of Charleston, and we, people ask me all the time where I'm from, because when we speak English, we sound like Barbados, Jamaican, that type of thing. That's what we all sound. Most of us are in the low country area. Yeah. That's what we sound when we speak English.
So in your town, is there? You grew up there, and then you live. How far is your town from where you at now?
Well, Rantos is about 10 miles south of Charleston.
Okay.
Small area.
Okay.
But not only Rantos, but anybody out there, John Allen, James Allen, we all sound alike.
Yeah. Now, are you and you was born and raised there? Is that a rural town? Is it like a country town where you grew up?
It's a rural town, but it doesn't matter because people in the city also spoke Gullah.
Yeah. Now, but hold on, I'm on you still, my friend, because I got to figure this out. Now, hold on. Did you grow up on a farm?
Yes, the farm area. And my granddaddy, my grandparents, my grandmother, my granddaddy, they raised me. And I grew up on a farm.
Did you?
And, yeah.
Did y'all raise some chickens and some animals and stuff on your farm?
No, we planted vegetables. Oh. And my granddad had a horse. And one time my granddaddy planted beans. Enough beans to go to the market, to take the market.
Oh, really?
At least 10 acres of beans, and he would hire people to come pick the beans at the field and everything.
Oh, really?
Take the beans to the market.
Now, these are green beans or what kind of beans?
String beans.
Okay, and did you have to help plant them or something like that?
Well, if necessary, not really, because my granddaddy has never taken me out of school to work on the farm.
Really? I love it.
No, his objective was not for me to be a farmer, but to be more than what he did.
So
even though he always had a good job.
So, was there cotton? Was there slave plantations near where you grew up?
Yeah, there slave plantation all over the place, but not where I grew up. But there were a plantation. I could get to a plantation within from where the house where I was raised in, I get to a plantation in about, a good 10, 15 minutes walk.
Really?
Yeah.
Is your town, was there black people, white people, a little mixture or what?
It was a mixture. It was very mixed. Charleston County has never had segregated housing, so to speak. In other words, I can live in a house about 2 blocks away, could be another white person house. They were there, but we were basically mostly our own area. In other words, we didn't live that far from whites, but the area I was born and raised, It was all black. It was all black.
Mm.
Yeah, and we were taught, we weren't taught, but we were just kind of told, don't mess with those people.
Oh,
Stay away, yeah,
really?
stay away from
Okay,
those
hold on.
people.
That leads to my next. So you knew your place in life.
Well, the place that I knew in life was acceptable for me. I didn't know any other. So I didn't know that whether their place were any better than what my place was, because I was
Mm.
satisfied with where I was.
Okay,
My
I love
grandparents
it.
will always tell us, don't play right, don't be around, don't play the right children, and
Oh,
don't be around
really?
white people because they're unpredictable.
Did you? So wait, are you? Were you scared of white people?
No, no, I wasn't that around them that much. I don't, in school, had black teachers. In elementary school, black teachers. And high school, I had all black teachers. In college, I had all black teachers. So I
Really? I
never
love
experienced
it.
whites. Only time I experienced a lot of whites when I went in the military.
Well, now, so you grew up. It had to be segregated for there to be all this all black stuff, right?
It was segregated, but I didn't know it was segregated when I was growing up in the rural part of Charleston. It didn't matter.
I don't. I got another question for you. Don't, and I mean no disrespect in this
Oh,
question. Were you ever called a nigger?
if I did, I didn't know that it was such a derogatory
Oh,
term.
really?
Because you see, unless I went, and I didn't. The only time I encountered a whole lot of white people was when I went in the military, and if the term came up, they didn't let me hear it. Oh, I didn't. If they said it, I don't know they said it.
Oh, really?
Right, right. Uh-huh.
Okay, let's go back a little bit further.
Hmm.
Now, your father, your great grandfather, was one of them slaves? I mean, your great grandfather,
Okay.
was he a slave or no slavery?
My grandparents raised me, and their parents were slaves when freedom came. They were like teenagers when freedom came on the plantation. They
Oh,
were like teenagers. And so, of course, when they got married, then they had my grandparents right now, they have
yes.
now. And so that teaching that they got from a slave, or that lifestyle that they got from slaves, well, the same lifestyle I live, little different, a little more, a little better.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, one more
I'm
question
just
on this. How about this?
two steps
If
away from slavery.
Yeah. So, okay, if they were slaves, did you ever hear a story of when they got their freedom, how they got their freedom, and the celebration that they had once they knew they were free?
No, no, they didn't talk about those things, not at all. Only thing I found out, only thing I knew about my great grandparents is when I was developing the family history for my family. That's on my mother's side. On my
I
mother's side,
understand. I got you.
developed the history of my mother's side for the family. And so that's when I asked a lot of questions and whatnot. And that's when I found out that they were slaves on a plantation called Wide Awake Plantation in Charleston.
Okay.
And so I did research and did some work, find them, and I go back to as far as around 1817. From
Oh,
that point,
yeah.
it's like a brick wall.
Yeah.
Probably need to go to Barbados to find the rest of it.
Oh, really? So now, okay, let's go to what you talk about.
Uh-huh.
Gullah and Gullah, is Gullah one word and Geechee as another word, and you have to put them two together that says something, or can they be separated or
No,
what?
no, no, definitely separate. Gullah, the words are now, the two terms are used now synonymously. Gullah, Geechee was considered a derogatory term. You call somebody a Geechee, you better be ready to do
That's
battle.
what I kind of thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
could,
meant that they
yeah,
sound bad when you speak and they're like a lot of rice.
right.
I went to this forum at the College of Charleston. These Africans were conducting the forum, and that question came up. They said that Geechees were the names of tribes living in West Africa, and they were known as the Ogeechee tribe. If you go
Okay,
to Savannah right now, you see the Ogeechee River or the Ogeechee Boulevard.
yeah.
Call me a Geechee, I would thank you. You know something about my ancestors. We still don't use the term loosely because many blacks still don't understand that it's not derogatory. Gullah
Yes.
was the term that was used, and we don't use that often either.
So
It
what does
wasn't.
Gullah mean? What does Gullah mean?
Gullah is believed to be a derivative of the African word Gola, Angola, or Gola tribes
Okay.
in Angola.
So
No one really knows
are you
exactly.
Gullah Geechee?
Yes, I'm Gullah, very much Gullah.
Okay.
People ask me, how did I learn to speak Gullah? I said, no, question is how to learn to speak English.
Because what growing up, that was what you spoke. That's what they spoke growing up.
That's the way he spoke. The language of my grandparents, my great-grandparents were slaves. And those people who were slaves brought that Gullah language from Africa.
Is Gullah, is it a language or is it a bad English? How about that?
It's a language. For years, people have been, we've been taught that Gullah was bad English. Wasn't until Dr. Lorenzo Dow Turner, one of the world's most prominent Black linguists. He taught at Harvard University for a long time. Then also he did some work at South Carolina State University in Orangeburg, right in not far from Charleston.
All right.
And when he was at South Carolina State, he heard these students from low country speaking this strange sounding language. He could understand them, but it certainly wasn't English.
Right.
And so he did a whole lot of research and studying of the language, traveled up and down the coast of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, in the low country of Charleston, and interviewed people, spoke with them, taught them and understand them, and recorded for his findings, and presented his findings to the American Linguist Association. That's when they dubbed it as a language. He took his findings to Sierra Leone and other West African language countries, and realized when he got there, the people in Sierra Leone are speaking the same thing. The language we're speaking in no country, same language speaking in Sierra Leone.
I love it.
But it was recognized as a language ever since 1939. Did it bother to tell us anything about it? No. Okay. Just made us think that we were speaking bad English.
Right.
Okay. Bad English is bad English, and Gullah is Gullah. It's a Creole-based language, like a mixture of different languages.
Can Gullah be written? Is there a Gullah writing way or something like that? I know I ain't saying it right.
It's not a written language, it's a spoken language. And in the attempt to write it, just a matter of using the rules and writing of English, because it's an English-based language. Use your phonics and other English writing tools to write Gullah. I have a book called A Gullah Guide to Charleston. It's in Gullah and English.
Now, I heard this. There were people who spoke Gullah, and like you said, their parents would tell them, you acting Gullah, you acting Geechee, and you need to stop doing that. Have you heard that?
Well, yes. In school, the teacher will tell us, oh, don't speak that way. And we were obedient. We didn't. So we would speak English. We do our best to speak English. But Gullah, and so while we were in school, we were obedient to the teachers. But when we got home, we just lapsed back into normal, what we thought was normal.
Is there a band that is really recognized, or one or two bands or something that perform music as Gullah Geechee? I know it's the Gullah Geechee Singers, but other bands, and when they sing in the Gullah dialect?
No, there's a young man, great musician named Charlton Singleton. And he has this performance that he did called Ranky Tank, and he won a Grammy. He and his musicians and singers won a Grammy for the old-fashioned song, the old jazz sounding songs in Charleston.
All right.
He won a Grammy for it. Charleston singers called them Ranky Tank.
Oh, okay. Now Gullah, give us a little bit on the history of Gullah. It's 30 miles off the coast, so many states. How's that go?
You'll find Gullah speaking people from the coastal area of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and the upper part of Florida.
All right.
Inland for about 200 miles, 150 miles, 200 miles. And it's a small speaking area. In other words, where you mostly find plantations, you're going to find Gullah.
What defines somebody as Gullah and not? I had a lady on the channel. She said she wasn't sure if she was Gullah. She didn't speak the dialect. What is there something that defines somebody as Gullah and not Gullah, so to speak?
Yeah, you can transfer if you can trace your ancestry down to slave Gullah speaking people, you're slave, yeah, you Gullah.
Can you be Gullah? Can you not? Hold on. Can you not be a Gullah even though your people were slaves in those Gullah territories?
You can not be Gullah. You can sometimes people lose it. In other words, they would move away and be away from the language, and you can not be Gullah. Let me see, how can I put it? If you have a lot of whites in your bloodline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can lose it. You lose your heritage. That blood.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'm going. One more question. What defines you as Gullah?
The mere fact that I speak the same language that my great-grandparents spoke, who were slaves, and the language we just spoke, continue to speak it. And the way we sing, the songs we sing, everything, the old-fashioned, unarranged, Negro spiritual, all that's Gullah, because it's created. We created it.
I got you.
And it came from Africa. Most of it came from Africa, where the Gullah language is spoken to also.
I got you. Are there Gullah traditions of some sort?
All type of Gullah tradition.
Holidays, that kind of thing?
No, we didn't. Holidays, okay, but the holidays that were celebrated by the slaves were celebrated because of the white man, because it's their holiday. Christmas, Christmas, I don't think Christmas is an African holiday. It has spread across the world as a holiday. I'm sure most of the Africans were Muslims. And the Muslims don't celebrate, I don't think they celebrate Christmas. So any holiday we celebrate is most of the holidays of the white man. And we just continue it. They enjoyed it, we enjoyed it too. Christmas, I love Christmas, Thanksgiving had nothing to do with slaves.
I guess, but I mean, sometimes in the heritage, there was some significant moment though, that maybe Gullahs express, or maybe even just the receiving freedom. Is there anything like that Gullahs specifically recognize?
Now, most of us know that freedom came, we started the Emancipation Proclamation was read. I had a lot of slaves who sat up December 31st, 1863, I think it is.
Right.
To hear the proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation read after midnight to proclaim them free.
Right.
For us, that celebration has become what is known as New Year's celebration. In other words, it became that sitting up overnight to hear this proclamation read has transferred into a worship service for us. We do watch night service.
I got you.
That's one of the celebrations that the Gullah people would always do. And the watch night service, this is transferred into a service where we watch in the New Year's. And now whites go to New York and watch the ball drop. We go to watch that service, have a service.
Right.
After the service, then we party to celebrate New Year's. But it has become a spinoff of watching in the New Year.
Is there a Gullah type of apparel or something like that?
No.
Gullah food or something that
food.
Cook,
Okay.
any of those things?
Yeah. Now the Gullah language, Gullah was just a language. But I said before, it has encompassed many different things: the food, the culture, the style, tradition. It has all that now falls under the Gullah umbrella, the Gullah umbrella. But
I
before
got
that, just the language. There's food, Gullah food. The food that was free on the land is considered Gullah food. You know, you can plant your food, what you raise up on the farm, and has become what we call Gullah food. Okra. There's a documentary on, came on Network Channel. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't know the name of it.
Okay.
And it started off in Benin, West Africa, the documentary on different food that we eat in America that came from Africa.
I hope you don't mind I say this. I don't like okra, man. Okra doesn't, I don't like the way okra
Hey,
tastes.
you like candy?
You a
You
big
like
okra
candy?
fan?
You like sweet potatoes?
Huh?
Like sweet potato?
Yeah.
Hey, that's from Africa.
Right?
Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, rice came from Africa.
And then all the but yeah, that okra, I never got a taste for okra.
What about chitlins?
Chitlins?
Yeah.
No, I don't really like those either.
Well, you see, it depends on who's cooking it. It's one of the most expensive meats you can buy at the store. You see, those things that there was a meat that the cook would prepare for the plantation honor, and the part that was left off, like the pig feet, the chitlins, those type of things, is what Gullah people, the slave, made beautiful fine dishes out of. You know, the chitlins, the hog maw, hog head. We make hog head cheese, and pig feet. You eat pig feet?
No.
Well, anyway,
I gave up pork the first of the year just because I'm getting
food
older.
that the plantation owner didn't eat. And those are the food that the slave prepared for themselves. If the cook prepared a barbecue dinner for the plantation owner, they would take the meat and cut it off the bone. They cut the meat off the bone, and they didn't cut all the meat off. They saved some of the meat for themselves, and that's what the meat they fix up and barbecue it down and sauce and everything. And that's what makes our barbecue good about barbecue ribs.
What about beef, and do you eat a lot of fish? Is it a lot of fish because of the territory?
Fish, free. It's free. The meat that's free on the land. What you come out of the ocean, what you find in the forest, rabbit, deer, squirrels, you know, and yeah, those are free foods.
Yeah, and so you conduct a tour.
Yes,
From in Charleston, South Carolina.
That's correct.
Do you go? What's on your tour? What do you show people?
Well, the tour does focus more on the Black site and history of Charleston, not exclusively. I do, you know, if you cover all of Charleston, but from a Black perspective, I think one of the most interesting part of the tour, according to tourists, is when I go to Philip Simmons' house. That's
I heard of
fine works all over the world. He has a gate at the New African American Museum. Had a gate at the American History Museum at the Smithsonian. He has gates in Europe, China. In other words, when people move, they take their gates with them. That's why how we know we have gates in Europe and China.
How long is the tour and so on and so forth?
The tour is about 2 hours long.
Okay. And you also show them, you talk about Gullah Geechee traditions of some sort, or?
Yes. Oh, yes. I do that, at the beginning of the tour, a little dialogue, and, you know, I do speak some Gullah for them and everything. And so, you know, the tour isn't done in Gullah because we wouldn't understand what they're saying. I've had requests to do tours in Gullah, by the time I got about a block down the street, they begged me to speak English.
I got you. Is there? Do you normally have to wear African garb of some sort when you do the tours, just to get like in character? Maybe, if I may say.
No, I don't need that. No, I don't need that. No.
Oh, really?
No, I don't do that.
Now Charleston is Charleston was a really notorious place for Blacks with the intermingling of the white slave owner and the black woman. I've got several people on the channel that talks about the light-skinned blacks there that look white
Yeah.
in Charleston in particular.
And they were mingling amongst slave, black male slave and white women, but you know, you don't hear nothing about that. You will not hear, no one gonna write anything about that. We know that happened. But now what happened is when you had a lot of the plantation owners, the white man and the slave, the female slave,
Yeah.
that created a whole lot of what we call light-skinned black, mulattoes,
Yes.
octoroons, quadroons. That was
Yes.
the story of Thomas Jefferson and Sally.
Yes. And then they call them mulattoes too.
Yeah, a mulatto is a cross between a white and a black. A mulatto and a white is what we call a quadroon. Quadroon and white we call an octoroon.
Hmm. What now? What you said something just a second. So the black men with the white women.
Yeah, that happened, but you know, you're not gonna find any documentation about that.
What was she raping him, or just wanted to get with him, or what do you think that was?
Of course, I mean, you know, the black man, you know, we are, you know.
Yeah. There's no question. And them sisters, they had to get with them sisters. They saw them sisters sitting over there with them hips and things, and said, "Hey, man, come on over here."
Yeah.
When we hear those stories, it is really kind of crazy for this white man to hate black people as much as he does, to be as abusive as he is, but then to sleep with a black woman.
They didn't. I don't think I would say they hate us. They just look at us differently. Just differently. They at that time, I would say they hate us now. You know, they could hate us now, but not then, because they just look at us differently. You know, then. You know, we weren't hardly on their level, and we were just properties.
Oh man,
it's hard to fathom because, you know, we now we call it hate, you know, of course.
Yes.
And just craziness, but it was, we can classify as hate now, but at that time, they were just property.
Man, that's but still, I mean, to feel that way, that to even put us less than human in their mind, but then to want to sleep with the woman though, you know, with your private and her private coming together like that.
They're beautiful. Women are beautiful. They're beautiful, and all this over sex.
There has
men, I'm falling in love too.
Yeah, there has been various actions, governmental or otherwise, to help understand the Gullah heritage, such as the Gullah Geechee Corridor or the Gullah Geechee Commission.
Mm-hmm.
Which, are you familiar with that?
Well, yeah, Congressman Jim Clyburn helped establish that to identify Gullah areas and Gullah tradition heritage to perpetuate the heritage. And so a lot of money was put into that to recognize these places where Blacks lived, where they were buried, and other aspects of Gullah culture, history, and tradition, to preserve those things.
Is there a historical marker that specifically says Gullah Geechee on it in Charleston?
No. You know, there may be, you know, there are, but they just recognize the person, and instead of saying Gullah Geechee, but we know it's a known fact that probably Geechee, Gullahs, not Geechee, the known fact that they were Gullahs. And so I don't know if it was necessary to put that on a plaque or something. We do have a plaque recognize Robert Smalls.
Yes.
He's from Beaufort, but he was a slave ship, a slave ship captain.
Yes, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him.
Yeah,
we talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a house on your tour or a church that was specific for Gullah Geechee people? Is there a church or something?
Yeah, I mean, I talked with Emmanuel, but that shooting took place,
Yeah. Okay.
and they Emmanuel got people in that church, but all of them are Gullah, but they speak perfect English now, speak perfect English, and so I'm a member of Mount Zion AME Church. In other
Okay.
words, Mount Zion came out of Emmanuel. Emmanuel, but that shooting took place.
Yeah, right. I'm familiar with it. Yep.
Mount Zion came out of Emmanuel in 1882. Emmanuel was terribly overcrowded. So to alleviate the overcrowded conditions, Emmanuel bought this building that was up for sale and renamed it Mount Zion African Methodist Episcopal Church.
Okay.
That's what I'm a member of. And so the members, there are many members of Emmanuel who moved their membership to Mount Zion to start the congregation.
I got you.
Mhm.
Now, what about I've been there. I've been to the Penn Center
Yes,
and the church next to it. What is that? The Brick Church?
the Brick Baptist Church.
Is that near where you are, or that's further down?
No, that's about Beaufort is about 100 miles away. You're looking at about a good hour and 15 minutes drive away from Charleston.
Okay. Is there, as we kind of come to a close, let's say, is there a question that I have not asked you, something that you wanted to specifically, mention?
Lord, if you have to ask all the questions, but Gullah, we need another 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's such a broad field and it's very broad and very advanced, and there's so much to know about it, and this have been covered.
I got
It's
you.
never been brought up in history books. And so now it's all in open, and people are asking questions about it and researching it and everything. And the more you research, the more pops up.
For your tours, how do people find you?
Well, I have a webpage, gullahtours.com.
Okay.
Sometimes people will make the reservation from the webpage, or there's a phone number on my webpage.
Is there a better time to come down for the tours per se or something?
Most people, I have a whole lot. I've always had more whites on my tour than I do blacks. I guess about 80% of my customers are white. I found where blacks take the tour from around Memorial Day up until about Labor Day. After that, I have more whites from Labor Day on around to next year Memorial Day. And
I got you.
And so we blacks travel differently. That had nothing to do with nothing. It just that we travel differently, but nothing like that.
I got you. And the weather is good there year round, isn't it?
The weather is good. Charleston is almost tropical. The best month to take tours or travel in Charleston is October and November. It's not hot. It's not cold. Things are still in bloom, and there's no long lines. Students are in school.
Yeah,
a lot of people travel in the summertime, not traveling in that time.
I got you.
A lot of people come to Charleston at that time.
I got you.
Especially these parents who have gotten their children into college.
I got you. Hey, well, so we're gonna put the website and the description and all that. And how about one other thing, Ken? You mentioned that you wrote a book.
Yeah, it's called a Gullah.
You got a copy? Let's see the book, man. Come on, we're gonna sell these books.
You may see this backwards on TV on the screen.
Yeah, no, I see it.
Called a Gullah Guide to Charleston. It's in Gullah and English.
I got you.
It also has many of the wonderful sites that I show on the tour.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna put that. We're gonna put that in the on the description too. Everybody, let's get a copy of that book.
It's on my website too.
And it's on the website too. Yes, we'll do that. Let me ask you this, if you don't mind. Can you say something in Gullah?
Okay. For example, I think let me do the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. That's a good ending.
Many times at that time, the language was just passed down by rote. And so the Lord's Prayer in Gullah, imagine all these people couldn't didn't read all right, but they would hear the Lord's Prayer repeated over and over and over. By that time, repeating over and over, the whole thing would have changed. So that's where it is in the Gullah language. So we start with Our Father, who art in heaven. You've been so far?
Yep.
Okay. Our Father, art in heaven. All the way be thy holy and righteous name. All the way. That's saying, hallowed be thy holy and righteous name.
Yes.
And as soon as you said the word to change, Our Father, art in heaven. All the way be thy holy and righteous name. Thy kingdom come, Lord, the holy and the righteous would be done. On this earth as it is in your great heaven. And lead us not into no more thing like the sin of evil, but thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Of course, that goes on and on for another 30 minutes of prayer.
Yes, I love it. Everybody, this is what I do. I tell you, I find them interesting people that's putting their life to keep the history alive, putting their time and doing the research, because they love doing it personally, but they, and maybe even more in particular, they want to share it with people. And that's what this gentleman is doing. He's made a business out of it. Everybody, let's go down there to Gullah Tours, Charleston, South Carolina. You can go at almost pretty much year round, and he'd be happy to have you. Tell him Anthony Brogdon sent you, that you saw it on this video, because he's giving of himself to come on the channel, but also to have this business. And to you, my brother, I say thank you so very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Everybody, read my book, watch my movie. And I also want to share this with you, my friend. With all sincerity, I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind. I love what you're doing in that business, all them beautiful pictures you got behind you and them awards and plaques. Nice looking sofa, man. You good looking guy. I like what you're doing. And so please continue to doing that, sharing that heritage and that knowledge. I'm coming down there. There's big things going on for next year. We coming down there. I've never been to Charleston and I want to come. Mm-hmm. And in particular, not just to see you, I want to come when they open up that museum.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there from that. There's an International African American Museum that's opening up probably next year in Charleston.
Board everything day one.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming down there for that. So thank you so again for being on the channel, and everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe. You ain't got nothing else to do but hit the button, and it's free. Don't give you no information. Hit the like button on this video in particular. All right, my friends. I say with that, let's say Gullah goodbye in Gullah Geechee. Is there such a way?
Well, you don't say Gullah. You don't say goodbye. Normally, you say goodbye at funerals. So never say goodbye. Goodbye is done at funerals.
All right.
You say, see you later.
There it is.
You got that?
Yep.
See you later.
There it is, everybody. We out. Thanks. Peace.
Thank you.